Mr. Eccles, Mr. Ross, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today. Mr. Eccles?
Good morning, Commissioners. This matter was heard by a district court after Mr. Silva had appealed the Commission's prior disciplinary order against him. The district court held that the Commission properly had jurisdiction over Mr. Silva and that he therefore had the ability to discipline him for his actions. The district court also held that the particular discipline imposed was arbitrary and that the Commission would have to rehear the matter. And so that's what the matter is on your agenda for. It is only on your agenda, again, for hearing on the rediscipline, or as the court said, the appropriate discipline to be imposed against him. The facts at issue there are no facts at issue. Essentially, those facts were admitted at the time of your administrative hearing. That's part of the record that was sent to the district court, and the district court sustained those findings of fact and conclusions of law, and so those remain intact. It is only on your agenda for a redisciplinary hearing as to the appropriate discipline, and so in that regard, I have obtained an affidavit from Kirk Hendrick from the UFC, and I'm going to move for the admission of this affidavit into evidence, and the purpose of this affidavit is so that the Commission will have more evidence upon which to deliberate and upon which to rediscipline Mr. Silva. So I would like to introduce that into evidence, and if you have any questions, obviously we're here to answer them.
Mr. Goodman, do you have a copy of the affidavit?
I do.
Do you have any objections?
I do, Commissioner. I received this, I think, around a little after 5:00 p.m. yesterday. Pursuant to your code, NAC 467.938, it requires any party to, before they can introduce an affidavit before this Commission, has to, or is required to provide it to the other party 10 days before the time set for the hearing. So
Okay.
I would object under your code, and it's untimely. There are no source documents. I would tell the Commission that this affidavit was apparently in lieu of the subpoena that the AG's office provided, where they were asking for specific documents. I have no ability to cross-examine the affiant, who is Kirk Hendricks, because he's not here. I don't have the ability to review the underlying documents in which Mr. Hendricks makes any one of these statements in the affidavit. So substantively I object because I don't have the proper information, and procedurally it's in violation of NAC 467.938.
Mr. Eccles?
Yes, Mr. Goodman is right. I didn't give it to him 10 days before the hearing. I just got it yesterday, and I forwarded it as soon as I could. Now let me further place this into context. We put this on your agenda as soon as possible after Mr. Silva withdrew his appeal to the Nevada Supreme Court. And so the purpose of having the Commission hear this now is so that we could have it determined as soon as possible and then move through the process, whatever they wanted to do after that, as far as possibly appealing it, etc. So if we're going to object to it, if he wants to cross-examine Mr. Kirk Hendrick, then I would just move to continue it, and we can subpoena Kirk Hendrick to be here, and it'll be on your next agenda.
Mr. Goodman, is that what you...
Our position is that that would be unfair. We did have the district court denied and granted in part my petition for judicial review. It should be noted for the record and for purposes of this Commission that the district court judge did not cite to any of the statutes which we raised both before this Commission and at the court where she found that there was jurisdiction. She didn't address any of those statutes. And so with respect to why we're here today to rediscipline Mr. Silva, I would submit to this Commission that the AG's office knew. They put it on the agenda. it would be an unreasonable delay to continue it again. They put it on the agenda. They could have contacted the UFC at any point. They could have issued a subpoena earlier, but they didn't. They waited until the last minute, and now apparently they negotiated some sort of affidavit in lieu of actually producing the documents in response to that subpoena. So I think they have to live with that, and I would ask for the hearing to move forward, to proceed, as it was duly noticed, without the benefit of the affidavit.
Vivian, I'm going to look to you as counsel.
As counsel, if you believe that the affidavit is something you'd like to consider, then it can continue.
Commissioners, is this an affidavit you'd like to consider in the process of redisciplining Mr. Silva?
From my perspective, the information contained within the affidavit is irrelevant to the record that I would like to see made and to my determination, or at least my consideration of this issue. The one thing I would note is that what I understand is that Mr. Goodman is objecting to the continuance, but he's simply objecting to it, contending that there is no good reason or no good cause by which to do so. My thought process in taking a look at 467.948 is that Mr. Eccles has articulated good cause for a continuance if in fact that there is a want or a desire by Mr. Goodman to cross-examine the applicant. So my position is this: the affidavit is irrelevant to me, but in the event that it is relevant to others, I think that there is good cause that has been demonstrated for the continuance of this matter.
Commissioners?
I would only add that unless you're going to poll each and every commissioner, that if it's potential evidence for deliberation, to continue it. If not, I think we have to go through an assessment. I have just gotten it myself this morning, trying to understand the content of it, the relevance myself. I don't know that yet.
Does everybody have a copy of the actual affidavit, Mr. Eccles? If you have a copy, can we see it?
Yes.
Mr. Eccles, this is an important piece of your case today, for your presentation.
Chairman, I believe the commission and the record would benefit from having this in evidence, and that it may be of benefit on appeal.
Thank you.
Chairman, the commission is not going to consider the affidavit as Commissioner Lundvall's suggested with respect to her that is irrelevant. Then we would ask that the affidavit simply be excluded if that's the vote of the commission, so we can proceed today.
Thank you. I think we've heard from the Deputy Attorney General that this is an important piece of this case. I don't know how important it is to all of you. It would be, to err on the side of caution, I would recommend, I guess, delaying the hearing until everything is properly noticed to the opposing counsel. But
Do you need a motion for a continuance? Or how is this
I would say
procedurally?
in this case that you should make a motion for continuance.
In that respect, then, what I would do is I would move for continuance of this matter until that Mr. Goodman has an opportunity to review the affidavit and determine the fact that he intends to cross-examine the applicant.
I second that.
It's been a motion by Commissioner Lundvall and a second by Commissioner Avancino to continue the matter of old business number 1 regarding Mr. Silva. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Eccles, please ensure that everything is properly noticed to opposing counsel.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Goodman apologizes for the delay.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to consent agenda. Are there any items any commissioner would like to remove?